everyone, welcome back to the kitchen. Today we're going to make pantry shelf chicken noodle soup. All of the ingredients came off my shelf to make this absolutely delicious and wonderful. So I can't wait to show you how this all comes together. Today we are going to be making a meal completely off the pantry shelf. Now this doesn't mean that you can't alter it to use leftover meat or homemade chicken broth if that's what you have on hand. But really my goal right now, because things in the grocery store are starting to look a little concerning. I don't know what part of the country you're in, but where we live, things are starting to get sparse. And you know, if you've been with our channel any length of time, you know that we have lived a preparedness kind of life for a very long time. Well, when you want to continue to, rotate your stock and keep your pantry full, and the grocery store continually has low runs on things that you normally keep, then you start to really want to bulk up what you have. So today I'm going to show, for those of you who may be new to this whole preparedness thing, maybe you want to bulk up your pantry a little, maybe you've never considered keeping anything beyond a week's worth of groceries, now might be the time to reconsider that. And today I'm going to show you how you can feed your family, give them full bellies, and nourish their bodies for very little money with what's on your pantry shelf. So today we're going to make pantry shelf chicken noodle soup. And what we're going to do here is we're going to start with a quart of box stock, chicken stock. If you have chicken stock in a can, this is approximately 4 cups, so you want to keep that in mind. So we're going to use a box of stock, 1 can of chunk chicken breast, and this is a 12.5-ounce can. Now if you have leftover grilled chicken in your fridge, which I do, but today I wanted to focus on what was 100% off the pantry shelf. You can cut that chicken breast up, or if you have leftover roast chicken, you can shred that up and you can use it in here. Just make this work so that you get the maximum amount out of your food dollar. We're also going to be using 1 can, so this is a 14.5-ounce can of mixed vegetable medley. Now I don't normally buy these. However, while doing a little research and knowing that I wanted to do this 100% off the pantry shelf, I picked up about a half a dozen cans. It has everything chicken soup would have in it. It has peas and carrots. It has celery and corn and green beans. It has potatoes, and it has baby lima beans. And I feel like that's a really rounded selection for a soup. And you could put this in any soup, or you can serve it as a side dish. It's up to you. We're also going to use one of these 32-cent bags of Fideo pasta. Now this is thin broken spaghetti. If you have spaghetti in your pantry, you can feel free to just go ahead and break that up. Maybe you want to use elbow macaroni. It's entirely up to you. Or a handful of egg noodles. It's your deal. You decide. What do you have in your pantry? Make it work. This whole thing, I will do a cost breakdown in the description box down below, like I did the other day when we made the tuna casserole. We're also going to season this up with things we already have on hand from our pantry, a teaspoon each of onion powder, garlic powder, and a teaspoon each of poultry seasoning, and my favorite chicken rub, which is the Lawry's chicken and poultry rub that I bought from Sam's Club, and I always have big containers of spices on hand. That is something you may want to consider bulking up on as well, because I understand spices are starting to become a little bit scarce. So if you have things that you use on the regular, you might consider picking up an extra container here or there. Now we're going to bring over the sauce pot, and we're going to just start putting this all together. All right, so we're just going to get started now. I am going to be adding some water in here, about 2 cups worth. So in goes our broth, and I'm not draining any of my cans. There goes our can of vegetables. And that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill with water, because 2 cups is about 16 ounces and this can is 14.5 ounces, give or take. And that's going to help us because we want to offset the liquid, because we're going to put dry pasta right in his pot. I have this can of chunk chicken. Now you guys, I know I've said it before, is this my first choice? I said it when I made the lunch lady chicken and gravy, but I'm telling you what, this is a great thing to have on your pantry shelf, because not only can you use this in this pantry shelf chicken soup, but you can use it in the chicken gravy over mashed potatoes that we did in a previous video. You can also use this in some chicken and stuffing patties, which I will have coming up on the channel sometime soon. And it's just all simple. Now in with our seasonings. And I didn't add salt and pepper here because of a couple reasons. Stock has a little bit of salt in it. The vegetables and the chicken, which I did not drain, also have a little bit of salt in there. And the chicken rub that I like to use for seasoning also has a bit of salt. So we don't want to over salt this. If it turns out that we need to have a little more salt in there, then we can have everybody salt their own serving. Do y'all remember when you were a kid and your mom, when you were sick, would go get that box of Lipton extra noodle chicken soup in an envelope? If you don't remember that, I'm really sorry for you. But that was like my mom's go-to when we were sick. So this is the type of noodles that it is. It's like the super thin deal going on. And I'm gonna just pop those in. Now, unlike the minestrone that I made where I said make the noodles on the side, this is chicken noodle soup and we're gonna cook them all right in there. And this is also gonna conserve energy. It's gonna make this a one-pot meal and it's gonna make it super easy. This is definitely something your kids can do, and all you would need to do is leave them a simple recipe and tell them where to find it on the pantry shelf. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and I'm gonna heat this to a simmer. I'm gonna cook it until the noodles are soft, and then I'm gonna bring you back and I'm gonna ladle you up a big delicious bowl of this pantry shelf chicken noodle soup. Our pantry shelf chicken noodle soup cooked for about 10 to 12 minutes on a simmer on top of the stove, and you know, you just want to cook it until the noodles are nice and soft. But look at the noodles in here. This is extra noodly chicken noodle soup, and kids are gonna love this, and so is everyone else. There's plenty of veggies in here, there's plenty of chicken to go around, and I'm just gonna serve up a healthy bowl of this. This is gonna serve, I would say, depending on the size of your serving and your family, 4 to 6 people. Now, you can always round this out with biscuits. You could put a salad next to it. So depending if you have a garden or if you have fresh produce on hand, I'm really just trying to give you guys some ideas. Maybe there are those of you, like I said, who've never really thought about putting in a food storage or bulking up your pantry because you always had what you needed at your fingertips, and whatever you needed was just a trip to the grocery store away. And today we're seeing things are a little bit different. And I don't want anyone to panic or get scared. I just want to sow some seeds and give you some ideas and show you that this is not that bad and that you can make things that are delicious and simple right off your pantry shelf with dry goods, and it's not that difficult. So you can see there's good chunks of chicken in here. There's all those vegetables and a lot of noodles. And I think your family is just really gonna love this. You can serve this, like I said, with biscuits, with bread and butter, saltine crackers, oyster crackers. Maybe you have some salad croutons. That would be a lovely thing to put in here. Just look around your kitchen and be a little bit creative, think outside the box, and make a delicious, hearty meal for your family any given time, no matter what the circumstances, and everyone will thank you for it. Now, we use some pretty simple basic ingredients to make a pretty typical chicken noodle soup, but you can take this idea and you can expand on it. Would you like to make a creamy chicken and rice soup? Leave out the noodles, put some leftover cooked rice in here or some wild rice in here, and then add a splash of shelf-stable cream, or even mix in a can of cream of chicken soup. That's going to give you a lovely creamy chicken soup that's going to really be delicious. Maybe you like a chicken tortilla soup. You can leave in the noodles if you want to, or you can take them out. You can sub out the vegetables for a can of corn and a can of Rotel or the tomatoes and green chilies. Add some taco seasoning in here and your chicken, and you're good to go. And then you just use crushed up tortilla chips if you have them on hand. Otherwise, you know what works? Seasoned cornflakes would work in a pinch as well. So those are just some really kind of off the cuff ideas that can help you broaden your repertoire and open up your mind and think outside the box a little bit on how you can make this chicken soup a little bit different, but still have it from your pantry shelf. Now look, I know that you can buy a can of soup, but a can of soup is not going to give you this much. You're going to have to open several cans of soup in order to get this amount of soup. This way, you stretch your dollar a little more. Like I said, I'm going to put a cost breakdown in the description box down below, give you some idea about how much this pot of soup cost, and then you can go from there. I hope you give this a try sometime soon, and I hope you love it, And until next time, I'll see ya.